Can everybody hear me? Man, this stuff's crazy.
Yeah, I can hear
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, well, this will be all behind the scenes.
All right. Okay. Does anybody have any questions as we wait? Like a bunch of idiots right now? Just wait for nothing? Waiting? Why'd you put that in there?
I'm just leaving it there so that when he calls, we'll see it.
Oh, I see. How come people aren't saying stuff? Oh, here we go. There's the call right there. Okay. All right. Boom. Hey, Jake, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Vic?
All right, dude, we're on the internet right now, dude. This is like all crazy stuff. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. My brother set this up, so. Did you do your podcast just now?
Yeah, I got it done this morning. Just got done a little bit ago, and had Joel Stanley from the Stanley Brothers on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just talked about CBD and maybe its effectiveness with football eventually. Yeah.
All right, we're going to be really quick here, bro, because I got to get the Nuggets practice, and I know you're tired of talking. I wanted to bring you on for two reasons, because I want to talk about the effect of changing quarterbacks during the course of a game, because I don't know has that ever happened to you where it did happen to you actually in your final game as a Bronco where you really didn't expect to play and then you came in the game. Remember that? Was that the San Francisco game?
Yeah, that was the San Fran game, last game of the year.
Yeah. How does that affect the team? What I want to know is how do the Broncos suddenly go from not being able to do anything right to doing everything right because Peyton enters the game? How does that happen?
I don't know. Every team's different. It seemed to me like you say that the offense, wasn't doing anything right, but I thought they were moving the ball well and making plays.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they were, but they weren't finishing drives.
Yeah, they fumbled the ball. The one Emmanuel Sanders fumble, that was a strip. That was wacky. Yeah. That rarely ever happens. And then, the fumbles, and then the blindside hit on Brock, which he could have avoided. I would like to hope he could do that for his own longevity. The picks, was just off the hands of a receiver, and then he got hit. So they weren't necessarily, underperforming. They were just having a bad spell of turning the ball over. And I think that whole first half from watching at home on TV, the TVs loved it. They kept panning to Brock, then to Peyton, then to Brock, then to Peyton. And anytime they were together or near each other, it was like for sure going to be shown. And I think that the fans at the stadium, they could see Peyton moving around. And at one point, the fact that they had yet to buy into Brock because of Peyton's foot and the possibility of him coming back, I think that's why when it did get to that point, 8 minutes or whatever into the third quarter, people were ready to see Peyton come in and toss Brock aside. And I think that there's an excitement there because you remember all the good times. You don't remember how Peyton went out and how poorly he was playing, not only in his last game, but even a couple games up to that, not getting things done, turning the ball over. People don't remember that. All they want to see is right now, can he come light this fire and get this team going? And I thought it was a gutsy and brilliant call by Coobs to pull the trigger and put Peyton in.
It's a what have you done for me lately league. That's what we do. I get it. And that's the way it's always been. But let me ask you this, all right? Because I think you and I both agree. Brock's got a great future in this league. Okay, Brock's going to be fine. But if you're Gary Kubiak, you're making a playoff run right now, I think he's already opened Pandora's box, Jake. I think he's got to stick with Peyton now. Because here's why. If you start Brock and Brock has to go out there and he's looking over his shoulder wondering, God, if I make a bad throw here, are they going to bring him in again? I think it's just easier to do it the other way around. Do you agree or disagree?
I think that he made the move, and the move has been made now, and you got to go back to what it was before with Peyton the starter and Brock the backup, just like you said. Yeah. Now, Peyton has a history in the playoffs. So he has, I think, 9 one-and-dones, but he also has 11 playoff victories and 3 Super Bowl appearances. So regardless of if he's won all those Super Bowls, I know he only got to win one of them, he's still been there. He's taken teams in the playoffs to that final destination, and Brock hasn't. I would like to see Brock get his chance, but I don't think it's going to happen because Peyton looked healthy. He looked like he had gotten a little bit more fresh through the rest that he had, not necessarily the rest, but just not taking those vicious hits like we saw him take in the game when he got popped pretty hard, those add up to on a 39-year-old body. And what 4 or 5 weeks off that he had, even though he was rehabbing and working hard, his body feels better. And I know that he's got a little pep in his step, and he kind of, he might see the writing on the wall of this maybe being his last chance, real legitimate chance to go win a Super Bowl. Therefore, you have to, go against convention, I would say, and go with the proven, veteran that's done it before. Even though Brock may be the best option, if to go through here, I think that Peyton is a guy that can lead this team, and I don't think anybody's going to doubt his abilities. I think it's just a tough spot for Brock to be in, but he's handled it really well, and it can only benefit him in the long run to be diplomatic about it and cheer on Peyton. I know he wants to take him into the playoffs. Any competitor would. But you kind of have to realize who we're dealing with here. Number 18 is a legend. You kind of back off and let the legend do what he needs to do, and I think we're going to see that.
Last question, and you're right. I think an angry Peyton Manning is a good Peyton Manning because he's angry because his ego took a hit. He's taken a lot of criticism. I think it's going to help him. It's going to help the team. I'm wearing a shirt right now that says there is no plan B, and I think that's all out the window. I think we moved on to plan C. And plan C is you go with whatever quarterback gives you a spark. If Peyton can't get it done, go back to Brock. If Brock can't get it done, go back to Peyton. And that's just the way it's going to be. My last question to you, because I know that Gary Kubiak was very, let's say, I'm not going to say disappointed, but he wants Brock to be a little more nasty with the way things are handled on the field. He wants him to get in his teammates' faces if the offense isn't moving. Is that fair? He didn't do enough of that? Maybe he's too nice?
I'm not sure. I'd have to be, really on the sideline watching those interactions and see what happens. Now, I wasn't a guy that would ever go over and chew the linemen's asses for not doing something. Now, if they had given up, a few sacks, or if one player was getting beat repeatedly, I'd go over and say, hey, man, let's go pick it up. Or if the whole group wasn't performing at the level that I knew they could perform at, I'd go over there and not chew their ass, but try to pump them up. And I think what Gary wants to see from Brock is maybe a little less of what he's seen over the last 3 years being a backup. Yeah. He's seen how to do it. He's learned from Peyton how to do it, but now it's not an act anymore. This is the real deal. There's no script. There's no right or wrong thing to do except to be yourself. And I think that's what he wants to see is Brock to be the leader that he is, not do what he has rehearsed in his brain over and over and over through all the times of sitting on the bench of what I would do here, what I would do there. Just do it when it comes up naturally. Do what you feel is right and be a natural leader. And that's hard for some kids. I think that it can be difficult, but he has it in him. He has the ability to play. And you mentioned if Peyton does struggle, we know if he even gets hurt again, that now, I think that fans will rest assured that they know coming off the bench is not an unproven guy. He's proven to me, at least, that he can get it done. They're four drop balls away from him being an undefeated starter, and there wouldn't even have been probably a question of Peyton even playing again when they'd sealed up home field with a couple games left. If just 4 balls are caught that were good thrown balls.
Game's over.
So Brock did a hell of a job. He did a great job. He's learning to be that leader. He's finding his spot in there, but it's hard also to be that leader when you have one of the ultimate leaders right there, and we're all speculating when Peyton was going to come back. How can you really become that leader when there's the legend looming?
I totally agree.
It's hard.
I totally agree.
Hard.
All right, dude, listen, I got to get going. I appreciate your time. I don't know what we're doing here, this contraption that my brother set up. It is some sort of web voice thingy, but I think it's the future, bro. So I appreciate your help. Maybe we'll start our own station. All right, man? I appreciate it.
Hey, that'd be sweet, man. Thanks, Vic. Hey, take care, man. We'll be talking soon.
See
later.
You, Jake. Take care.
Later.
All right, Daniel, come shut this thing off. How do you shut this off? Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to make this so it works properly so I know how to turn it off and on from the future.